What is up, guys? Emmanuel Jones back here with another video, and this time we'll be doing our NFL Week 3 predictions for this season. Give you my game analysis, give you my thoughts, see which teams I think they're gonna win this week. So before I give you my predictions, Week 3 predictions, don't forget to put a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and don't forget to comment down your opinion below to see who you think's gonna be able to win this week. So basically, last week I went 10-6, which that's pretty good. And then overall is 20-12. I chose the Niners to win 34-17, and they won 30-12, I believe. So, anyways, we're gonna get things started. All right, so we got this game right here. We got the Tennessee Titans versus the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are favored by -3.5. Obviously, they're favored for a reason. I don't know, but I'm calling this my trap game because this game can go either way, and sometimes the Browns are not good at home. But as I look at it, though, when I look at the Browns, they're they've been really good on defense as of lately, though, but they're coming off a loss against Pittsburgh, and Tennessee's coming off a win against the Chargers. But the Browns didn't really impress me enough because, Deshaun Watson, lost the Steelers in that game because, the Browns offense gave the Steelers defense. They gave the Steelers 2 defensive touchdowns, which that was horrible. And, Deshaun Watson was looking bad in this game where Pittsburgh made him really uncomfortable in the pocket. Like, the offensive line wasn't able to protect. They couldn't run the ball. Especially without Cameron Hayward, they couldn't be able to at least attack. But I thought the defense did impress me, though. I mean, they started to keep them. The defense kind of did a good job, getting a couple stops and all that. So, yeah, I thought the defense did really good. And then the offense. So, yeah. While Tennessee, I thought they did a really good job on offense protecting Ryan Tannehill. But I feel like if Ryan Tannehill, can do enough to protect the football, he can have a chance to at least get the offense going. I think they'll do enough to run the ball. But here's the thing. I wish it was Derrick Henry versus Nick Chubb, but sadly it's not. It's going to be Derrick Henry versus, Jerome Ford or something like that, or Kareem Hunt. But I just kind of really feel like that, without Nick Chubb, I just kind of feel like it's going to hurt the Browns. So it's weird to say that I like the Browns receivers more than I like Titans receivers. But the Browns, offense, I feel like the Browns defense can definitely give Tennessee's offense issues. But the one that kind of concerns me that I don't like the matchup is that Tennessee's O-line versus the Browns D-line. But I think the Browns defense is going to stay in the game like it did last week because I think the defense did a good job staying in the game. But obviously, even though this game's in Cleveland, I don't think it really matters. So I'm just going to go with the Titans here because I'm just really upset with Cleveland right now. I just think Tennessee's, with Vrabel's defense, I think he can be able to get Deshaun Watson uncomfortable. They can create pressure and all that. So, yeah, I think they'll do a good job containing Watson in the game. But I know the Browns, some of their weapons for the Browns, like Cooper, is banged up, so they kind of have some injuries. And plus, Tennessee just more healthier and all that. So I'm just going to take the Titans to win, but give me the points because I'm just very upset with the Browns right now and their coaching because I think Tennessee just has better coaching. So, yeah. So I'm going to take the Titans to win, but give me the Browns with the points. I'm going to say Cleveland covers. I'm going to say Cleveland does. I'm just going to take, Tennessee to cover because I think, Tennessee's going to – because I think this game is going to be a low-scoring game, though. I think it's going to be low-scoring. for a reason. So I'm gonna say at least like maybe like 17-16, something like that. So more like a really low scoring game. I just slightly got them at least winning by 1 point. Or I'm gonna say at least like 17 to like 16, or maybe like 23 to like 17, something like that. So more like a lower scoring game, but do I want to draw? I really don't want to draw, but I don't have enough colors though, but I'm gonna take the Browns. I'm gonna take the Browns to cover this game. I don't know. I'm gonna take Tennessee to win plus give me the 3.5 with the points for him to cover. So yeah. All right, next game we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Detroit Lions. Lions are favored by 3. Obviously, this game right here can go either way. Now, most people are kind of picking the Falcons to win because the Lions are dealing with some injuries, though. But here's the thing: the Falcons won 2. They're coming off like 2 straight home wins, and Lions are coming off a loss against the Seahawks. Obviously, like I said, the game can go either way. Most people are picking Atlanta because Atlanta has a better. Because Atlanta's they've been playing really good football lately. Like the offense is starting to play really good. The defense is starting to pick up some things. But the thing is that Ritter is playing on the road against. He's playing on the road, but this is like when he was in high school. Like Ritter is, he's on the road playing against a Lions team, and I don't think he never won a game in an environment like that. So I don't think that will be the case. So by the way, I think this game can go. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than we expected. Now, we don't understand the Lions, their defense have been really good against the run, but they've been dealing with some injuries, though. We don't know if Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to play, but if he plays, I think the Lions can definitely win. But if he doesn't, I think Atlanta wins. But but the Lions are dealing with some more injuries, like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's out for the year, and then Houston's still hurt. I mean, with other players, Aiden Hutchinson is just the only player on their defense that's like really good. But obviously, the Lions' O-line is playing really good, and they're starting to run the ball really well. But obviously, this game right here is going to be super close and competitive. But I'm probably going to take the Lions to win because I believe they get back on track. I don't think they drop 2 home games in a row. So I say they get back on track and win this game because they're at home. And obviously, they just got the more mature quarterback in this game. I feel like Jared Goff, he's just playing really good football right now. So, yeah. So I think they'll do enough good job on defense, to like give the Falcons old offense issues and all that. So, yeah. So I'm going to take the Lions to win, but give me the 3 points with Atlanta. I don't know who I'm going to take to cover, but obviously I'm going to take the Lions to cover. So I'm going to say at least like 24 to like 23, something like that. Maybe. I'm just going to take Atlanta with the points to cover the 3. So, yeah. So I'm going to take the Falcons plus the 3 points, but I'm going to take the Lions to win the game. All right, next game, we have the Denver Broncos versus the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are favored by -6.5. Obviously, I got the Dolphins winning, and the reason why is that, they're at home, they're the more complete team, and obviously, I think they have the better coaching staff and have better quarterback. I mean, I just don't really trust Denver right now. I mean, Denver's like a bottom 5 team in like the NFC and AFC. I mean, I just can't like trust Denver right now because they're on a 2-game losing streak. They lost 2 home games in a row, which they should have won because they end up blowing this game to the Raiders and end up blowing it to the Commanders. Like they just led the Commanders offense to win that game. Like they gave up 30 plus points on the Washington Commanders because Denver, they wasn't able to get pressure when they needed to. Like their defense is bit up and down. And offensively, I thought offensively that I think they did really good, moving the ball. O-line did a good job protecting Russ to make some vertical plays. I mean, I thought the Broncos offense did a good job, staying competitive though, which they could have at least won this game if the defense didn't blow it. But they lost again because the defense couldn't really stop a nosebleed. The offense, so yeah. And I just kind of really feel like that, Miami's going to match up well with the Broncos really good. Even though Jalen Ramsey's not playing, I still think the Dolphins, the Dolphins defense has been playing very good. So I think Vic Fangio can get his revenge on the Broncos, which I think he can do a good job, like coaching with Mike McDaniel and calling plays with him. Because Mike McDaniel's been seeing identities, though. Like, he's been coaching really good. Like, he's been, like, the best coach so far. Offensive play caller so far. So I think that the Dolphins, with their offense, I just think they're way too explosive. Even though I'm worried about Jalen Waddle, he might not play, but maybe he can. But I just found that he's ruled out. So I still think the Dolphins can win. And plus, Tyreek Hill, he might have a monster game. Because the Broncos, their defense is dealing with some injuries, though. And especially they only have one good corner. And then plus their deep pass rush is kind of like a bit overrated, where they're not able to get pressure. And plus, with Miami's O-line playing really good, I think they're going to do a good job protecting Tua. And he has, like the makings of, has the magic to make some magic and have good moments. Because he's been having good moments in some games so far. So, obviously, I wouldn't say this game be close, but I wouldn't be shocked they kept this close, but I'm probably going to take the Dolphins here to win at home. Home here, so yeah, I think they can do enough to at least like get pressure on Russ with the defense can do enough pressure. And plus they have the secondary to cover Cortland Sutton and other Broncos weapons on offense. So yeah, but I wish it was gonna be Ramsey versus Sutton, but I don't know if Miami has another corner, like maybe the rookie, maybe Eli Apple, but something like that. So yeah. So I'm gonna say the Dolphins at least win at least by 10 plus points, at least by double digits. Because I don't think Denver is going to be able to score enough points to keep up with the Miami's offense. Because Denver is playing on the road against a top 10, top 5 team in the AFC. So, yeah, I'm going to say Miami at least win by 30 plus points. So, in this game. So, yeah, I'm going to say like 30-17, something like that. 31-17. Or like 33-17. So I'm going to take the draw. Yeah, I got the Dolphins to win and the Dolphins to cover. All right, next game we have New Orleans Saints versus the Green Bay Packers. Packers are -2. Now, the Lions is changing back and forth for a reason. I don't know, but I should change that. Okay, now they're favored by 1.5, which they could be favored by a touchdown. I don't know what that means. That means they could be favored by a touchdown or maybe by a 2-point safety. Like, who knows? This game can go either way. But most people are picking the Saints to win because, the Saints have been playing really good football lately. And obviously, I just kind of have a feeling that, that when I look at this matchup, it's going to be fun to watch because this is like the best matchup that we ever seen. because the Packers, because both these two teams, teams you're because I just kind of really feel like that when I look at this team, like this, because I just have a feeling that both these two teams have a great defense, and the Saints kind of, and I just kind of feel like that the Saints, they've been playing really good football so far. Their defense is playing good. The offense is starting to get a rhythm, get going here. Derek Carr is the weapons like Michael Thomas is looking really good. Shaheed's looking really good. Olave's fantastic. I mean, yeah, the offense is pretty good, but the concern is that Jamal Williams is on IR and he's going to be off for at least for like the next 4 games due to a hamstring injury. And then, we can definitely see the Saints defense give the Packers offense fits because we know the Packers offense, it's been playing really good so far. But I feel like if Christian Watson plays this game, he's going to feast. But he got to play this week. But we don't really know if Aaron Rodgers is going to play this week because, Rodgers, with Jones, we don't know if Aaron Jones is going to play because if Aaron Jones plays, then I think their running game will be spectacular. But if he doesn't play, I think that can probably lead to A.J. Dillon, in the lineup. Because if the Packers, they need – because, they almost beat the Falcons, which they should have, though. But because, the defense is starting to play really good. The offense started to get going. Jordan Love's playing really good right now. I feel like this game right here is going to be close and it's going to be competitive. And I think it will be fun to watch. But obviously, I am going to take the Packers to win this game because the Packers are at home. And I think they match up well with the Saints really good on paper. And also, they have the better coaching staff. But it's weird to say the Saints have a better quarterback. But I think Green Bay just has a better coaching staff than the Saints. Because I think, offensively, I think they're going to move the ball. But the thing is that they have injuries on the offensive line a little bit. We don't really know how the offense is going to be able to protect Jordan Love. So I think the Saints defense can give issues. But on the other side, I think the Packers, they've been really good against the run. And plus, they've been good against the pass. So I think their secondary can be able to find their matchups against the Saints receivers. So, yeah, they have the secondary to at least cover the Saints pass-catching groups. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take the Packers. I'm thinking this game's going to be close, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a low-scoring game. So, I'm going to take the Packers to win. I'm going to take the Packers to win, but I'm going to take – give me the point. Give me the 1 point with the Saints. I think the Saints are going to cover this game to keep it competitive. But, yeah. So, I'm going to say Green Bay. I'm going to say Green Bay wins 27-23, something like that. So, yeah, 27-23. Or maybe 23-20. Maybe Green Bay wins by a field goal. So, yeah. So, give me the Saints to cover plus the 1.5, but give me the Packers to win the game to get back on track. All right, next game we have the LA Chargers versus the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, the Vikings are favored by -1. Now, I call this now it was a pick'em game, but now the line has changed, saying that Minnesota is favored to win at home. I mean, they're favored for a reason. I don't know, but this game can definitely go either way. Now, I kind of went back and forth in this game, saying that I was gonna pick the Vikings, and then I picked the Chargers, and the Vikings, and the Chargers, and all, and such like that. This is a hard prediction, hard game to predict because both these two teams are winless, and one of these teams is gonna have to get back on track. But either going to be the Chargers or the Vikings. Who knows? I thought I liked what I saw from the Vikings for like the past 2 weeks. I mean, their passing game has been really good, and Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's like playing really good ball. He's balling out. I mean, the pass offense is playing good. I mean, their running game is not really good. Like, they're not really getting their run game consistent. I think their run game is like, I think I'm a little concerned about the run game because I think their running game is kind of iffy because they need to try to get a run game going because they haven't been able to run the ball really good, especially against a Bucks defense and a Eagles defense. They haven't been able to do that. On the other side, the Chargers, I mean, the offense is playing like really good. I mean, defensively, I mean, Justin Herbert is playing really good, but the Chargers kind of have the worst defense in football. Now, Brandon Stanley is the worst coach though in football. But I like to say that I like the Vikings coaching more. I like the Chargers. I like Brian Flores more as a defensive coach more than Brandon Stanley. I like the Chargers talent more than I like the Vikings talent. So, now my mind is kind of really telling me to pick the Chargers to win. My mind is telling me to pick the Vikings to win because they have the home field advantage and they're at home. And Minnesota is like really a tough place to play at. But at the same time, this is a tricky one. This is tough. I really don't know. I am going to take the Chargers to win because I just like the Chargers' talent more than I like than the Vikings' talent on defense. I mean, the Chargers have the better defense. They're more talented. They have a better quarterback. And also, I just kind of really feel like that, that the weapons that the Chargers have on offense with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnson, Josh Palmer, Gerald Everett. I mean, those guys, the weapons for the Chargers they have on offense is going to be too much for Minnesota's secondary to handle. Herbert's going to be too much for the Vikings defense to handle because the Vikings, they don't really have the corners, to cover those guys. Like, how are they going to be able to cover those guys when they don't have any corners? I mean, the Chargers are going to look pretty good on offense, but if Brandon Stanley doesn't really have a good game plan against the Vikings, then I think the Vikings, they're gonna like run. They're gonna run them over. Like, they're gonna like pass the ball and a lot though. So I kind of feel like the Chargers can like do enough on defense to get pressure on Kirk Cousins because we know the Vikings offensive line is pretty injured. So I think the defense can take advantage of that and they can get pressure on Kirk Cousins and all that and probably force Kirk Cousins to beat them. And also they have the secondary to cover Justin Jefferson. So I just kind of feel like they're going to have to do a good job shutting down Justin Jefferson because if they can't shut him down, then they're going to get ran on. So yeah, that's how I kind of really see it as the Chargers. Like, I just kind of really feel like there's more sense of urgency for the Chargers to at least win this game. So yeah. So I'm going to take the Chargers to win, but I am going to take, it's hard to say, but I'm just going to take the Chargers to cover. I think Minnesota's probably going to move the ball, but I feel like it's going to be a much closer game because I think Minnesota's offense is going to keep up in this game. But if the Chargers give up early, then they could blow the Vikings out. So I'm going to say the Chargers win like maybe 24-17, something like that. So, yeah, something like that. I'll say the Chargers win by 7. So I'm going to take the Chargers to win and take the Chargers to... I'm going to take the Chargers to win and Chargers to cover. All right, next game we have the New England Patriots versus the New York Jets. Jets are favored now. The Patriots are favored by 2.5. Obviously, I call the Patriots and Jets a trap game for some reason because I just kind of really feel like that I've seen some people, trying to pick the Jets to win because they're at home, but I'm taking the Patriots. Like, there's no way in hell I'm taking the Jets to win because what I saw last week, you know, it was a disaster. Like, the Jets offense didn't even do enough. Like, they couldn't even move the football. Zach Wilson, he's not playing really good right now. Like, he's been ass and he's been like terrible. Like think about it. Like he did not have a good game against the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys defense really kept the Jets offense out of the end zone. And plus the Jets, the Jets defense, I don't think the Jets defense didn't look as good all game because they gave up 30 points on the Cowboys and all that because that's the Cowboys. And plus, the Pats, have owned the Jets for years. And plus, the reason why I'm picking the Pats, to beat the Jets is because, is that I haven't really seen the Jets beating the Patriots in years. Because I heard the last time that the Patriots have beat the Jets, that the Jets have beaten the Patriots was since 2015. That's the only time last time the Jets have really beat them is 2015. Which that was like about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that been at least like 7 or 8 years ago. So yeah, now I'm saying the reason why I'm picking the Patriots to beat the Jets is that I have to see the Jets beat the Patriots before I can pick the Jets to beat the Patriots. So yeah, that's pretty much why. I think the Pats defense. I feel like the Pats get back on track. I don't see them starting off 0-3 because if they do, then they could be in trouble. And I think the Pats, I just think, that the Pats, I just kind of really feel like they're going to do enough offensively to move the ball. I feel like they'll be getting their O-line back, and I feel like back and healthy. And I think they'll do enough to control the Jets pass rush. They're going to have answers for their blitzes, and then, they're going to at least, like, do a good enough job on defense, like, confusing Zach Wilson. Like, if they go back and look at the Cowboys game, they'll probably, like, understand what they're going to do on defense. So, yeah, because I thought last time, now, it was like the end of the year last time when they played against each other. It was a low-scoring game, and the Pats really won that game with a touchdown. So, yeah, I think the Pats win this game, but I'm taking the Pats to cover the 2.5 points. But I don't really know if it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be closer, though, because I think the Jets defense is going to play better in this game. So, yeah. So I'm going to say the Patriots win. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm going to say like 16-13, something like that. I'm going to go with 16-13 or maybe like 20, like 16. I'm going to go like 16-13, like a little low scoring game, a little ugly game. So I got the Pats to win and cover. I'm going to say 2016. So yeah. So I got the Pats to win and cover. Next game, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the Washington Commanders. Obviously, Buffalo's favored by 6.5, which that's kind of a big number a little bit. Now, Washington's been really good for 2 weeks. They beat the Broncos and they beat the Cardinals, which that's really good for them. Obviously, the game can a little bit go either way, but I'm not sure if they're really on Buffalo's level. But I don't think they're on Buffalo's level. Because here's the thing. I just kind of really feel like when I look at that, Washington's defense is really, really good because you got Deron Payne, you got Sweat, you got Chase Young coming back, and then you got Jonathan Allen. Like, you got to deal with those guys up front. And plus, the Bills' offensive line has been looking pretty weak and not protecting the quarterback. And on top of that, I just kind of really feel like, I just kind of have a feeling that when I look at the Bills, offensively last week, they were able to move the ball against a Raiders defense that really wasn't great. Like, Josh Allen had a good game last week. The offense was playing really good. Defensively, they did a really good job. Like, they played a lot better than I give them credit for. Like, they did a good job stopping the run. Like, they didn't give a lot of rushing yards. I mean, now, I'm not sure the Bills had the best defense yet, but I think their defense did a really good job, stopping the run last week on the Raiders. Like, they gave the Raiders no rushing yards. And then, the pass defense played really well. So, yeah. So, and plus, especially offensively, I think what Josh Allen can do, he can scramble, run around. He can, get the ball down the field to at least whoever he wants, like Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis. Like, he can do that. So, I just kind of really feel like that, that what the Bills can do offensively, because that's what they like to do offensively, is pass the ball down the field. And defensively, they do a good job. They don't allow you to score on them. They don't allow you to score in the end zone. Like, they've been playing really good on defense, like the edge. So, yeah. And also on top of that, I just kind of really feel like that when I look at, at Washington. Now, their offensive line isn't great, but, Sam Howell kind of played really good. They didn't really look really good until, the second half. Because the defense started to get it going. But I like this game to be close, and I like it to be competitive, but I'm leaning towards the Bills because the Bills had a better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're just a more complete team. So I'm just going to take the Bills to win. Maybe I'll take the Commanders to cover. But I don't know. This is tough to say, but I'm going to go with the Bills to cover. I'm just going to take the Bills to cover this game because I don't know. I know 6 is a big number, but I'm just going to take them to cover because I don't think Washington is definitely on Buffalo's level. And I don't think they're going to do enough Washington's going to do enough to keep up with the Bills' high-flying offense. So I'm going to say the Bills at least win by a lot of points. I'm going to say 27-17 or maybe 34-17, something like that. Maybe 31-13. So, yeah. So I take the Bills to win and cover. Next game, we have the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is favored by -7.5. Obviously, I know this is a big spread, but I'm rolling with Jacksonville. Jacksonville, they're at home. Now, I know that's a team where I know that, that the Texans, pretty much own, because last year when they played, I believe the Texans beat them in Jacksonville, but it was only a low-scoring game. But obviously, I'm picking Jacksonville to win because Jacksonville's at home. They're the more complete team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. I mean, I wouldn't trust a rookie on the road to go to Duval and all that. So Jackson, CJ Stroud, had a really good game last week. He had a really good game. Like, he threw the ball for like almost 4. He threw the ball for like 300 plus yards. He kind of really played good, but the Texans really didn't do enough to keep up with the Colts because the Texans defense got exposed and they couldn't really do enough to stop the Colts because the Colts were moving the ball, such and such like that. And the offense, it played okay, but it didn't play really great. So, yeah, I mean, Jacksonville, last week when they played against the Chiefs, they wasn't able to move the ball. They couldn't get the offense going. So I think Jacksonville's going to do it in this game. But you know what? I'm going to say they score at least by 30-plus points. I don't think Houston's going to do enough to keep up with the Jaguars offense because the Texans secondary is pretty young, but I don't think they have the cover guys to cover Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, and such like that. So yeah, so I think Jacksonville is going to score at least 30-plus points in this game. So I got the Jaguars to win and the Jaguars to cover. All right, next game you have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are favored by 7.5. Obviously, this game right here can definitely go either way. Obviously, 7 is a big number, but I got the Ravens in this game. But the Ravens are just a better team, better coaching staff. They're at home. Better quarterback. I mean, Anthony Richardson, I'll take the Ravens to win, but might say that I might take the Colts to cover despite Anthony Richardson not playing. We don't even know if he's going to be playing or not, but now I just found that he won't play because he has a concussion. So I'm taking the Colts to cover despite that. Because I thought, by the end of the game, the Colts, now they beat the Texans last week because, the offense did a good job moving the football against them. The defense played really good. Steichen's been having some good game plans. And also with Gus Bradley, he has some good moments, He did a good job confusing quarterbacks and all that. I think he can do a good job, confusing Lamar and all that. So, yeah. So, I think, there's times in the past where he had really good sets against the Ravens. So, yeah. And plus, the Colts, they don't really have, a secondary. Their secondary is pretty young. They don't really have any cover guys that can really cover the Ravens passing game. I feel like Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers is going to have a good game. OBJ, he's ruled out because with the injury. So, yeah. So yeah, and I think, the defense is going to do a good job, getting the Colts getting after the Colts often, getting after Gardner Minshew. And plus, the Colts won't have a run game, so I think the defense can do a good job, stepping up. And then I think their secondary can do a good job covering the Colts pass catcher. So, yeah. I'm going to take the Ravens to win, but the Colts to cover. So, I'm going to say it's going to be a closer game. I'm going to say at least, maybe 23-13. I'm going to say, 20 to, 23. I'm going to go with, 23 to, 20, something like that. More like a closer game. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens to win, but give me the Colts plus a 7.5. All right, next game we have the Carolina Panthers versus Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's favored by 5, but now the line changed, and now, now the Seahawks are favored by -5. Obviously, Seattle's coming off a big overtime win against the Lions, and Panthers are coming off a loss against the Saints. Now I just found out that Bryce Young is ruled out for the game. Now, which that means that I got the Seahawks in this game. You know why? Because I just kind of feel like Seattle, is gonna want that revenge from last year. They really want that revenge from last year because Carolina went on the road and beat them last year because it was with Sam Darnold at quarterback. But now, it won't be Bryce Young versus Geno Smith. It's going to be Andy Dalton, though. I kind of feel like Andy Dalton is kind of better than Bryce Young. By the point, I don't know if he is, even though he's a backup. I really wasn't impressed by the Panthers' offense for like 2 weeks. Like, I can't really trust the Panthers' offense. I mean, Bryce Young, he's been terrible for like 2 weeks. Like I'm not impressed because he's been really bad for like the past 2 weeks. And the offense wasn't keep it going. I mean, the offensive line can't really protect. The defense, it's been playing good so far, but not great. So yeah. So I think, the Panthers' offensive line has been a weakness so far. So I think Seattle has a good enough pass rush to dictate the pace, and they'll do a good job stopping the run. I mean, their secondary, they have the corners, to cover the Panthers' receivers because I feel like the Panthers' receiving core is a little bit lacking. Because I think it's lacking a little bit. So, yeah. So, by the way, I feel like this game can definitely be closer as long as Carolina's offense can, like, get a rhythm going. So yeah, but I don't think Carolina's going to keep up with Seattle and also Seattle has a better quarterback in this game, and they have better coaching staff. They're at home. They're a more complete team. So that's an easy win for Seattle Seahawks to win this game. But I got Seattle to cover too. So I'm gonna say they win by double digits. So I'm gonna say at least like 27-20, something like that. I'm gonna say at least 27-20. I got Seahawks to win and Seahawks to cover. All right, next game we have the Chicago Bears versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 12.5. Now that's a big number. I mean, some people might say that the spread's kind of disrespectful, but I don't know. I don't think the spread's like disrespectful. I think the spread's like fine. So yeah, obviously I easily got the Chiefs to win because the reason why is that they have a better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're the more complete team. They're at home. I mean, that's about it. And, the Bears, they suck. I mean, the Bears are like one of the worst teams in the league. Like, they're like a bottom, like 3 to 5 team in like the NFC. I mean, the Bears, their offense, their offense is terrible. Their defense is totally terrible. They can't stop a nosebleed. So I think the Chiefs, they should be able to move the ball against them. They have a good offensive line. They have the weapons on offense to, like, move the ball against the Bears defense with their young secondary, which is not good. Travis Kelce's going to have a good game. Patrick Mahomes going to have a good game. Like, he's going to have good moments. He's going to have a field day. Like, he's going to ball out in this game. I'm making a bold prediction that Patrick Mahomes is going to at least throw for at least like 350 plus yards or even 400 plus yards a game. Like, who knows? I can see that happening. So yeah, so I got the Bears to win. I got the Chiefs. I'm making my lock of the week that the Chiefs are gonna blow the doors off the Bears. I think Mahomes gonna go for 5 tutties in this game, or maybe he goes for. I think he's gonna go for 4 tutties in this game. So yeah, so I got the Chiefs to at least win. I got the Chiefs to win like I'm gonna say like 35-13. So yeah, I got the Chiefs to win and cover. All right, next game we have the Dallas Cowboys versus Arizona Cardinals. Cowboys are favored by 13, which that's another big spread here. Which now bad news is that Diggs is out for the year, which that's kind of a huge blow for their defense. But I got the Cowboys winning anyway because the Cowboys are just a more complete team. They have a better quarterback, better coaching staff. I mean, the Cardinals did really impress me last week. I thought the offense played really good. The defense definitely played okay, but they kind of really blew that game because the Giants, really came through and through in that game. So, yeah. So I think that Dallas, easily wins this game. They easily cover. I mean, yeah, I feel like their defense is gonna put up a lot of points. I'm gonna say it will be a blowout though. I think Dallas is gonna at least win at least by 30 plus points. I got Dallas winning at least 38-17, 34-17, something like that. I mean, yeah, Dallas easily wins, Dallas easily covers. All right, next game we have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are favored by -2.5. I called a trap game because both these two teams go either way, and I went back and forth in this game saying that I think the Steelers gonna win, I think the Raiders gonna win, and I picked Steelers, the Raiders are winning, I picked such and such like that. But obviously, I just don't really know who to pick here because most people are probably gonna be cheering on the Steelers. But that's a tough one to choose, but I just kind of feel like this is like the 90s matchup, 90s best matchup ever that we ever seen. I feel like Las Vegas is going to be, I feel like the game in Las Vegas is going to be lit. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be the home crowd with a lot of Raiders fans. I mean, I think this game right here is going to be fun to watch. I think it will be close. But I could definitely see the Steelers win this game because Steelers have better defense and they're good on prime time. But I thought the Steelers' defense did impress me last week. I think they did a really good job stopping the run, forcing turnovers. They did a good job, at least moving the football. And all of a sudden, I just kind of really feel like, the offense played okay. It didn't really play as good because I feel like Matt Canada could be the worst offensive coordinator ever. Yeah. But I think this game right here is going to be closely competitive. But I'm going to go ahead and just take the Raiders to win. And the reason why I'm taking the Raiders to win because Las Vegas is going to be lit. And, the drinks be flowing and people coming to those games. I think the Raiders are going to do enough to move the ball offensively. I think they're going to do a good job, moving the ball offensively because we know they couldn't really run the ball that much last week. And they were terrible on offense because they're not really – because, now, the Steelers have a better defense than the Raiders because even though the Raiders' defense is not good, but they're not playing the Bills. They're only playing the Steelers. So I think the Raiders can do enough offensively to move the ball, especially with their old line. I think they can be able to control their pass rush. And then I think, Jimmy G can do enough to at least move the ball through the air against the Steelers secondary. They have the weapons on offense to do that. I feel like Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, those guys are going to be tough to cover. So, yeah. And especially, I think, the Steelers' O-line is their weakness. So I feel like Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, or Tyler Wilson, I feel the Raiders' edge rushers can do a good job, terrorizing the Steelers' offensive line, which is bad. But I have a feeling that I think that, the Raiders are going to pull it out with. I mean, that's pretty much why I'm picking the Raiders to win, because they're at home anyways. So, yeah. So, I got the Raiders to win, but I'm probably going to take the 2.5 points plus the Steelers to cover, because I think the Steelers did a good job, moving the football. Because I thought the Steelers defense did a good job, like stopping the run, giving the Browns offense issues, such and such. We can see that happening again. They can do it, but here's the thing. If they can get the Raiders offense in some tough situations, I think there's a chance Pittsburgh can win. But I think the Raiders offense is going to win this game. So I'm going to say the Raiders at least win by a touchdown or a field goal. But I think it's going to be a little bit low scoring because, sometimes Steelers, like I said, they can't really score points, which I think they did a good job scoring points in this game, which they did a good job scoring points, over 20 points against the Browns, which that's pretty good. So I'm going to say I'm going to go 16, 19, 16, something like that. So, yeah. So I got the Raiders to win, but the Steelers to cover. All right, next game we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Philly's favored by -5, but obviously this game right here is going to be fun to watch. But obviously, I am going to pick the Eagles to win this game, but I'm going to say it's going to be closer though. I'm taking the Bucs to cover, and the reason why is that, the Bucs defense is pretty good. The Bucs, they're pretty. I mean, the Bucs, they're pretty talented, and all of a sudden, they have good corners, they have a good pass rush, they have a good old line, and Baker Mayfield's playing really good right now, and also Todd Bowles is really good against mobile quarterbacks. So I think there's a chance that I think that the Bucs can definitely confuse Jalen Hurts in this game. But I just kind of really feel that the Eagles' defense is gonna be a handful for Tampa Bay's offense, because I think they'll do a good job confusing Baker Mayfield. They have the secondary to cover Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They have the pass rush to get after Baker Mayfield. And I think and plus, the Bucs, don't have a running game and all that. So I feel like the Eagles can get pressure. I think, I feel like Jalen Hurts can do enough. I feel like the Eagles offense can do enough, to move the ball. Especially, I thought last week against the Vikings, they were able to run the ball really well. Against the Vikings defense that isn't good, they were able to run the ball. And I feel like they can definitely do it again if the Bucs defense just gets exposed. So, yeah, I just kind of really feel like that, that's going to be a lot closer, though. But here's the thing. Todd Bowles, I feel like the Bucs, pretty much have owned the Eagles for the past couple of years. But this is a different Eagles team, though, that the Bucs are playing. Because the Eagles got a really good defense and a really good offensive line. And I think the Eagles' O-line can do a good job, controlling the Bucs pass rush, putting the Bucs defense in a bad position. So, yeah, that's what I like to see. But I think it's going to be close, though. I'm just going to take the Eagles to win because the Eagles are just a better team overall. So I'm going to say 23-20, something like that. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win, but give me the Bucs plus the points. And plus, the Eagles are just a more complete team, and they have a better coaching staff and have the better quarterback. Look, I like Hurts more than Baker Mayfield. Hurts is just better than Baker. So that's why I got the Eagles winning. All right, then last game on Monday Night Football, we got the LA Rams versus Cincinnati Bengals. Cincy's favored by -2.5. Obviously, this game right here can a little bit go either way. Now, most people are kind of really picking the Rams to win because we don't know about Joe Burrow's status for Monday. Because of Joe Burrow, if he's not 100%, then he's probably not going to play because he's been hurt and he's been getting injured. I mean, we get it though, but at the same time, the Rams, offensively, they've been playing really well recently. Like Matthew Stafford's playing good, the offensive line's playing good, the defense is playing good, Puka's playing good. I mean, they were able to at least like move the ball, because last week I thought they did a good job moving the ball against the best defense in football, which they did a good job doing that. But I kind of really feel like if Stafford can get the Rams to the playoffs, he could definitely be my MVP vote. I mean, he could, because he's playing really good right now. So I just kind of really feel like that, that I just kind of feel like the coaching matchup is a difference. Like, I feel like Sean McVay was the father of Zach Taylor, because Zach Taylor used to coach there. So yeah, I kind of really remember that. But I have a feeling that Burrow will play this game. But if Burrow does play this game, I'm probably going to take the Bengals, because they're the more complete team. They're at home and have the better quarterback. But if he doesn't play, I'm probably going to roll the Rams here, because I don't think Cincinnati can start off 0-3 and stuff like that. Because they start 0-3, they're in serious trouble. I'm saying, but I'm predicting that Joe Burrow will play in this game. So I'm definitely gonna take the Bengals for right now. But if he doesn't play, I can definitely change my mind on that. Because I just think that the Rams, secondary, I just think, the Rams, they don't really have enough talent on defense to at least slow down the Bengals offense. Because you got Chase, Higgins, and Boyd you got to deal with. You got Joe Mixon you got to deal with. And, the Bengals offensive line has been really, really weak. It's been not playing really well for the past couple of weeks. Now, I thought they looked pretty good against the Ravens, though, which they should have at least won. The only reason why, the first half, they couldn't get their offense going until the second half. They was able to get their offense going. They were able to stay balanced. I think the Bengals are going to stay balanced on offense, and I think the Rams can too, because they've been playing really good. But I think it's going to be closer than we expected. But I think Cincinnati is going to find a way to pull off with the win here to get back on track, because I don't think they're going to start off 0-3. But give me the 2.5 points with the Rams. I think the Rams do cover this game to keep it close. So yeah. So I'm going to say a little bit like a low-scoring game. I'm going to say at least like I am going to say the score is going to be like I'm going to go with 24 to like 23, or maybe like 24-21, something like that, more like a lower scoring game. I think the Bengals are probably going to score at least like 30 in this game. So, yeah, I'm going to go like 20-30. I'm going to go like 24-30. So, I'm going to take the Rams to cover, but give me the Bengals to win this game. Well, all right, guys. Those are all my Week 3 picks for this week. Hope you guys enjoy watching. And don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Just let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about your thoughts on your Week 3 picks. Well, this is Emmanuel Jones from The Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later in the next video. Peace.